Hello everyone, my name is iCoexist, and this is a little bit of an update video. Honestly, as I'm recording this, I have no idea what it'll be called. Also, please ignore the sound of my air conditioner. The poor thing is working very hard. Anyways, today I just wanted to touch up on some of the things I was doing, where I've been, what's happened to me, why I've been dead, etc., etc. So the first thing I really wanted to go over was getting in contact with me, because quite frankly I've realized that with some of my older videos where I haven't quite either explained something to the extent that I should have, or if people are using old tools of mine, they might be having issues because I wasn't quite as, what is the word that I'm looking for, educated on the subject of trying to make said tools. So the easiest way to get in contact with me is by far my Discord server. You can always find my Discord server at my domain. What you're looking at right now is icoexist.io. If you want to go to Discord, all you do is go over here and click the Discord button, and that will take you straight to my Discord server. If you don't have a Discord and you want to contact me another method, you can simply open up the contact me at the bottom of the page. You can simply fill out this little contact form. You can also find my Twitter, my YouTube channel, which you probably don't need to find considering you're on it right now. Again, my Discord is also linked here, and you can also send me a direct email. But that is just some of the best ways to get in contact with me, because I don't go on YouTube as much as I probably should, because I'm not trying to get into YouTube as a job or full-time thing. It's more of a, if I have a video I need to publish, or if it's going to be a tutorial or something like that, you might as well use the system that is given to you, broadcast system, or whatever you want to call YouTube these days. Anyways, I've also started a new GitHub, which is located right over, right over here. Right now, of course, I only have one repo, and that is for my SoftEther auto installer, and that is by far the largest project I've probably been working on, other than making sure my websites actually worked. So if you go on GitHub, which my GitHub URL is github.com/icoexist, you can see that I've been doing some decent work over here on my SoftEther auto installer. In short, the scripts that I've made will hopefully make your life just a little easier. I've even stuck that in the README because that's kind of what it's there for. But if it breaks, it breaks, and it kind of might just make things a living hell for you. I do want to throw a disclaimer that I have not modified the source code of the SoftEther VPN at all. You can find the copyright information at the bottom of that README. But this is just an auto installer, so what this will do is it will download the source code, compile it, and install it on your system, because I don't know if anyone's ever read the documentation for SoftEther, but it's kind of janky considering that it's being translated to English, so it can be kind of a doozy. Now right now I highly suggest, at the time of this video, I highly suggest that you try the beta branch. As you can see, if you're logged in, I don't even think you have to be logged in, but you can see you've got your branch master and beta. Right now, I've been working everything in beta. If you're using CentOS or anything like that, you need to go ahead and make sure that you're using the master. But for the 64-bit and 32-bit versions of Ubuntu, if you're running 16.04 and above, I suggest you use the beta versions right now, because at this time I've added quite a few interesting things in there, and I'll show you over here. If you've used my original scripts, I used Echo and some other things like that to be able to print to the terminal that you're currently using. Unfortunately, depending on what version of Echo is installed on your system, it handles things differently, so I've changed over to printf. With that being said, everything also looks much nicer using printf, because I've integrated colors and things of that nature for things that you need to see, and it's also been formatted a little better. Another thing to take note of is at the bottom, I have added options in for port forwarding or opening ports on your server. it will do this automatically. UFW, it won't enable UFW by default. You'll have to enable UFW for this to actually happen, because you could have issues with SSH if you're currently SSH'd into the server and then you enable UFW and you don't have port 22 or 2222 open. 22, I guess you should say 2222. That sounds a lot better. So if you don't have port 22 or 2222 open, you could block access to your own SSH server, and it just create a whole mess, especially if you don't have VNC access. It just create a mess that I don't want it to handle. So I do want to go ahead and say that if you're planning to use this, at the bottom where it opens up the ports, the basic ports for soft Ethernet, it also asks you if you want to use L2TP with IPsec. It also opens the ports for that, because I've noticed that some people don't know the ports that are required to be opened for L2TP connections to be accepted and enabled. So just take that with a grain of salt. Actually, at the end of this video, I'll probably end up adding a notification saying, hey, you need to enable UFW for this to take effect. But I really don't want to enable UFW without users' consent, because I don't want to mess anything up. Unless I also allow 22, but I might as well allow 2222 as well. Or SSH. I don't know if UFW can tell what you're running your SSH server on. Honestly, I just don't know. I'll be honest. Anyways, moving on to something else to get off of this jumble of code. I've also got a forum set up. I've pasted it below in almost most of my recent videos. This forum is now my new home. I'm not changing it. It's going to stay this way for a very long time until something breaks. And when it breaks, I'm going to do my best to try to fix it. But as you can see on screen here, we've got the install soft ether VPN server, and I've got it for both Ubuntu and CentOS on here. Again, these are one-liners. You just copy and paste these. If I can get it to, you just copy and paste it into your terminal, and hopefully everything works. If you follow the tutorial here, you are not going to be using the beta branch of this repository. You will be using the master branch, because that's where everything's been tested. It's where everything is definitely sure that it works, quote, for the most part. So just bear that in mind. If you need ports to be opened, you need to open them. I've actually made a post right down here saying, remember to open up the appropriate ports on your server or your firewall, because SE, Soft Ether, uses many ports such as 443, 1194, and 5555 for basic tasks. At least that's for 443 uses their own VPN over SSL protocol, and then it's also how you communicate with the server if you're using the server manager. There's also port 5555. I think that's Telnet. I can't remember, but you can use that as well. And then port 992. Those are all TCP. And if you're using L2TP with IPsec, you need to open the ports 500, 1701, and 4500 on UDP. So that's just throwing that out there, because I know someone's going to end up forgetting that or posting about it. Actually, this man, Rahul, I'm going to say Rahul, I apologize if I've messed up your name, but they made a post saying they couldn't connect with their Android phone, and we quickly figured out what that was, because it was just some ports. So just keep that in mind if you're following this. Is there anything else that I need to cover? No, we've already seen my GitHub. What is something interesting to look at while we just sit here? I don't know. Let's just continue to look at my forum while I explain to you where I've been. Where have I been? Good question. You didn't ask it. I'm going to tell you anyway. I've recently had a promotion at my place of work, and unfortunately it requires me to go through quite an extensive amount of training, and I also work quite a lot more than I used to. Right now I'm working full-time, and this week alone, I'm working a 6-day week with over 55 hours scheduled for it, and it's just kind of overwhelming, and it just gets to the point to where you're like, I don't have time to really work on stuff. Now, if I have a break at work or if I'm at home, of course, I'm still working on my soft ether auto installer, because this is a project that I want to help make sure that people can install this VPN server, because a lot of people don't know how to just download and compile software. And of course, trying to follow the documentation is just no good. It's really not. So hopefully this helps people out in that regard. I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, but another method of contact is through this forum, which is forum.icoexist.io. Again, it's linked in almost all of my YouTube videos that are somewhat recent. If you'd like, you can register here. Everything's secure. Trust me, you can do whatever type of SSL tests you want to do. I use Cloudflare for the most part. Don't be spammy, please. I know that I know a lot of the people that end up watching these videos are unfortunately those types of people on console, or the people who are trying to make a quote DDoS protected VPN and resell it. For those who have no idea what I'm talking about, you guys are innocent. However, there's a lot of people that just take my videos and use them as a tutorial template, I suppose, or my scripts. And they'll just use them so they can create a fake business. Lord knows they're not registered at all. But they're going to go online, they're going to create a soft ether VPN server or use OpenVPN. Of course, I don't really have many videos on that right now. And they'll set up a website and then just say, hey, we're the #1 in DDoS protected VPN, and not have any idea about security or anything of that nature. Site registrations are completely stupid, or they'll have a website where you have to contact them on the social media platform called Kick, and then they'll give you a password that you can just type into it. Most people don't even know how to do a proper website. That's how bad it gets. Do not Google DDoS protected gaming VPN. Because you don't want to go down that road. Anyways, I know that I've gotten off topic at this point, but I just wanted to cover some basic things, where I've been, what I've been doing, the projects that I'm currently working on. Of course, I'm still working on this soft ether auto installer. Please fork this or I'm sorry, I don't know how the hell GitHub works. I'm still working on that. But if you know how to work with all that mess and help me out, feel free to contact me regarding that. And please feel free to edit this code. It's open source for a reason. There's a reason why it's on GitHub, so people can see it, review it, make sure nothing spooky's going on. And if you see something that can be improved, please help me improve it. I'm always open to ideas, because quite frankly, my knowledge in Bash is limited, and me doing this is already pushing the limits. Anyways, at this point, I think I'm pretty much it. Leave me a few comments down below on what you'd like to see. I know I've made like 1 or 2 videos on finding some random viruses or malware on the internet, just taking a look at it. There's a couple of other channels that do this, and they probably do this a lot. They probably continue to do it a lot better than I would, considering I'm not into that part of computing, I suppose. That is the right way to put that. Anyways, give it a like if you liked it, give it a dislike if you disliked it. Remember to subscribe if you want to see future videos of Lord only knows what. Help me out, put comments down below on what you want to see. I'm open to ideas at this point. And if you really want to see a video that I upload, hit the notification icon. And if you don't click it, because you probably won't hear from me in a little while anyway. Just kidding, hopefully I'll be back. Anyways, I suppose that's it for this video, and until next time, I'll be drinking some soda and working my ass off. Thanks.